morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. My name's Reiner, and welcome to Project Positive Change. This is our page. Mondays are dedicated to relationships, and here I am talking about relationships. Now, I am having a problem with my sound, so I'm going to wait for somebody to jump on and let me know whether the sound works. I'm going to try it. Hi, Caroline. I'm trying this now without the earphones plugged in. If you could let me know if that's any better or not. It might be that my internet's not working so well. So I'm just going to wait for Caroline to let me know, because she was the first to complain that it wasn't working. And Louise Cartwright's joined. Listen, Louise, I'm having problems with sound. If you could let me know if you can hear me. I'm not having problems with sound. I can hear me perfectly, actually. So I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me you sound good. Great. Okay, well, in which case I'm going to do it without the earphones, because it might have been the earphones that were causing the problems. So a little bit about me before I get started. Talking this morning about whether you're stopping too soon. You know, the good old Napoleon Hill quote that, you know, about the guy who stopped 3 feet from gold. And I find that happening a lot with my clients. And who are my clients? Well, I'm a Loved Again coach. My clients are women who are in an unhappy place in their marriage, and they're wondering whether they want to stay married or leave the relationship. The reason they come to me is because they've invested a lot of time, a lot of love, and a lot of effort into the relationship, and they're not quite ready to give up on it. But it does feel a little bit hopeless. Still not good. I don't understand. For Project Positive Change, I sound perfect. For Evelyn, not good. I'm going to keep going though, because yeah, I don't know what else I can do at the moment. So the where was I? I've been thrown off by the fact that there are people here listening to me. Isn't that good? So yeah, I see it. I see it even when I'm in the midst of working with people, that we make such a lot of progress. We make such a lot of headway. There's a lot of change going on internally, a lot of stepping up and taking responsibility for thoughts, for actions, and still, even with my support at certain times, I find that the idea of having to make a change in behaviour that goes, you know, that's scary, because it's actually opening yourself up, becoming vulnerable, becoming open to somebody else's rejection, if you like, is enough to transform people's relationship, transform the way that people react, and have them scurrying all the way back to where they started. And I see it, almost cyclically, if you like, in the people that I work with. Once we get to that point that they're about to make a big, brave, bold choice in the relationship, and that's going to involve them becoming raw, becoming vulnerable, they go scurrying back to where they started, and sometimes even further back to where they started, and become convinced that, the relationship, they knew all along that the relationship would never work. They knew they were wasting their time. You know that you're in a place of, hoping for something that's not going to happen, and then go looking for the proof that that's the case. So, stopping, even with me holding everything up and holding a mirror up, it can be that simple to run back to where you started from. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because this goes across, it goes across relationships, it goes across business. And the reason I recognize it in my clients is because I've suffered the same thing setting up my business online. I've been in that place, and that's what I was talking about when I started, before I got cut off, or before I cut myself off before. I've been in that place where I reached a certain point where it just felt like I was getting nowhere. I seemed to be talking and talking and doing and pushing and moving, and I wasn't talking, and nobody was responding to me. And I was just about ready to give up, throw my hands in the air and say, nobody needs what I'm selling. Nobody needs a relationship coach. Nobody needs to know how to become loved again. I'm going to go and, go back into insurance, because I'm wasting my time here. And, And yeah, I know everyone watching this has been there at one time or the other, because I'm looking down the list of people here, and I know that we've all been in the online business space. And luckily, I had either a coach or a group of peers round about me to say, take a step back. Maybe you're just talking to the wrong people. Maybe you're talking, at the wrong time of the year. Maybe you're just, you're not talking enough. Because that was the other thing. I feel like I'm talking every single day and I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. And actually, only a minuscule amount of the people that I want to reach get to hear me every day, let alone once a week, let alone twice a week. So I need to keep talking and I need to keep going against myself. And every time that I think that I'm hitting a wall and nobody needs what I've got, that's the very time that I need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing through it. And what I was sharing before is I've been online long enough now to see so many other coaches, so many other healers, so many other people who push and push and push, and they're doing such great things, but they just give up short. They get to a point where they're just about to break through. I'm just about to reach out, therefore probably a dozen other people are about to reach out. And the next time I look, they're doing something completely different. And the only thing that I can think of is they've stopped 3 feet short of hitting gold. That push has been too much. It feels too difficult. It feels like they're never going to make that break. So they stop and they change direction. And it happens in our relationships too. I know by the time my clients get to me, by the time that they have found the courage to say, I need help, that they've tried everything on their own. Sounds perfect now. Oh, thank you. That's good to know. I'm sure I wish I could hear you. I'm sorry, Evelyn. It sounds like everyone else can hear me now. I apologise about that. I'll do something in our group later on. But even by the time women come to me and they say, my relationship isn't dire straits, I don't know if it's too late to save it. I don't know if I can do anything about it. It takes a lot of courage to get to that point. It also takes a lot of courage to then say, okay, I am willing to to be guided by somebody else. I have spent X amount of years, and sometimes that's 10, 15, 20, even 30 years running my relationship on my own, based on my own knowledge, based on my own belief system, based on everything that I was brought up to believe in, everything I've seen round about me. And I'm making a decision now to allow myself to be guided by somebody else. That's huge. It's really a huge, courageous act. And that shows to me that somebody's really invested in the relationship. They're really invested in making sure that even if the relationship has come to an end, they're prepared to put that effort in so that the separation can happen with as much love and grace as coming back together again. However, even within that, even when I start working with people, I see this tendency to go down the line. They're very happy. You're very happy to put the work in, very happy to start looking inside, which again is another scary place to be. Look inside, see what's going on there. Because for me, the whole transformation process starts and ends with ourselves. It's about knowing ourselves so well that's self-love for me. That's what I call self-love. And that's knowing who I am, accepting who I am, valuing who I am, so that I place value on me as a person. I accept myself, warts and all, and I know myself. I know those limiting beliefs that are running my life at the moment, and I'm prepared to look at those, and I'm prepared to rip them apart, let go of the ones that I don't need anymore, and replace them with beliefs that are actually going to hold me and carry me forward in my relationship, or in my career, or in my business, or on every other aspect of my life. But what happens is, so often, it's not an easy path. We get such a lot of headway very quickly, because when you start looking at yourself, and when you start doing all the things that allow you to, like practicing gratitude or journaling, or meditating or whatever it is that lights you up, you get such a huge surge of positive energy that you want to keep going, and you're so open to taking on whatever knowledge is thrown at you. And then there comes the point that you actually have to put it into action. So, the first stage is all about learning about yourself, accepting yourself. And then you've got to show yourself to somebody else, or else all the work, makes no sense at all. What's the point of doing it if you're not going to take it and you're not going to show it to somebody else? And that's the point that so often people stop short. I can do it. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I can look in the mirror and tell myself I love myself. I've got my group of peers round about me. They support me. They love me. I can show my heart to them. But what about other people? What about the other people out there that haven't been on the same journey as me? My husband, my friends, my work colleagues. What am I going to do with them? And that's the place that I often see people stopping short. I'm prepared to do it in my safe zone, my comfort zone, but I'm not prepared to step outside it. So then I start creating chaos again. I start creating the stories again. I start looking for the proof that it's never going to work again. I start changing direction. I start telling myself the same stories, picking those old beliefs up all over again, just so that I don't have to take that next step outside of the comfort zone, and I don't have to show myself with my new self-knowledge to other people. I don't have to face that. Now, I've done it myself, so I'm talking really, in both in business, I've done it. And, how I react when I reach that wall is I sulk and I get all stroppy and I fold my hands, and I have somebody like Caroline saying, I'm going to kick you in the backside unless you go over yourself. I've got my group of business peers online that say, all right, take a day off. Think about what you're saying. Don't give it all up yet. We're not letting you do that. But that's my reaction to it. The same reaction that I have when I reach that point with my husband. Because even now, after years of doing the work on myself, having transformed my relationship, there are still points that it's easier to fall back into self-pity and finger pointing, and and pick up that old story of he doesn't, he's controlling, he's judgmental, he's this, he's that, he's not going to understand. And I did it yesterday, where we both managed to catch ourselves, but I did it yesterday again, where I found myself in a situation where I was, all my emotions were out. I felt so under pressure. I felt like everybody was pointing my fingers at me. And the first thing I did was turn and look to blame my husband, or blame my husband, maybe not, but, to find fault in him. Luckily, I caught myself, so I still get into that. But I see it time and time again with clients, and I feel, the first few times that happened, I thought, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And then I realised it's just part of the process, and that's why so many people give up on their relationships. They give up on their dreams. They give up on their businesses. They give up on their careers. They don't go for that next promotion, whatever it happens to be, because you feel that you've taken yourself so far out of your comfort zone. You feel like you've really stepped out. You've given it everything. And then you're expected to do it again. And that again just feels too difficult, too painful, too much. And at that point, the shitty committees start, and they start telling you that it's never going to work. You've done your best. You've given it your all. But who are you to think that you can have that perfect relationship, you can have that perfect career, you can have that perfect job? Get over yourself and get real. Bring yourself back down to earth and get on with life. And that's the point that you say, thank you very much. Thank you for that big discussion that you're having up in my head. Thank you for all those thoughts that are coming up, all those limiting beliefs that are coming back up. I know that you're trying to keep me safe. I know that you want me to stay small, not because you think I'm small, but because you want me to be safe. You don't want me to put my head above the parapet where I can be visible and people can have opinions on me and people can shoot me down. And then I have to be even braver and question myself. I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to look after me, but but I'm prepared for this. I'm prepared to see how far I can push it, because if I've got the dream in my mind, if I've got the thought, then it's been given to me for a reason. And not to push it and push it and push it as far as I can take it is just, it's going against what God, the universe, whatever you want to believe in, has in mind for me. So, when you reach that point, and you will reach it, don't stop. Reach out to somebody. Find your business peers, or find your best relationship friend, the one that you can go to, you can pour your heart out to, and make sure that they are holding the space for you, and they're telling you, don't give up. Keep going, keep pushing through. And when I talk about these things, that of course there's a balance. Of course, if you're in a relationship that's completely untenable, if you're in a relationship that is in any way abusive, in any way, against, it makes you feel bad, makes you feel that you're less of a person. I'm not talking about that kind of relationship. I'm not, I'm certainly not a supporter of staying in an unhealthy relationship if you've identified it as unhealthy. For me, I was sure I was in an abusive relationship. I was sure I was in an emotionally abusive and verbally abusive at times relationship. What it actually was a very bad pattern of communication. When I changed that, everything else changed. But I was prepared to leave the relationship because I felt it was abusive. I think that's all I wanted to say today about this particular subject. It's something that I'm working on at the moment, because when I go to Amsterdam, it's actually part of, I'm doing a presentation in Amsterdam this year, which is from the 6th to the 8th of August. August, wishful thinking. In Amsterdam, it's a PPC event, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And this is one of the topics that I've chosen to talk about, stopping 3 feet from gold, because it's something that we can use in our business life, in our relationships, in our interpersonal relationships, every aspect of our lives. We can put this, and we're so often we do stop short. So I hope everybody, you enjoyed it. It was lovely having you all here. Normally I get nobody at this time of the morning, so so if you get any questions, do shout out. And otherwise, I will be back. I'll be in my group if you want to pop over to my group and join my group, which is loved again and forever. If not, I shall be back at the same time next week. And if anybody's got any topics that you particularly want me to talk about, all the better, let me know. I'm just waiting to see if I get any comments. Oh, I got love hearts. I got all sorts of things. I'm feeling particularly loved this morning. So yeah, have a great week, everybody. It's a good way for me to start off the week, actually get my head clear. And I'll see everybody round and about in Facebook, out of Facebook. So bye.